Okay, you take whatever your denominator is. If it's one term, like a monomial, if it's one term, in this case it's the imaginary for I, whatever it is, you multiply numerator, denominator by that for I. Right? And now what do you get? 7 times 4 is 28I. 4 times 4 is 16I squared, but I squared is the equivalent to -1, correct? So that 16I squared is going to turn into what? -16. Yeah, right? Oh, your math being fantastic. It looks so great. And so now, okay. You guys have access to calculators, or you can use your phone. You don't need those calculators. All right, 28 negative divided by -16 gives me -7.4. So you can give me this answer, or if you want the decimal, which by the way, as we move on when we're graphing quadratics, we're going to go to the decimal. So SD, right, scientific decimal, right above the orange delete, it's -1.7i. So, whoops. So either of these two. Okay, what happens like 9 down? So this is now 9 through 20. It's called the conjugate. Now what that means is you now have a real and an imaginary part. So it's a binomial, has 2 terms. The conjugate means you change the sign of the second term, which would be your imaginary part. Okay, so if I look at number 9, I didn't do this, did I? I don't think I did I? I did 9? Oh, so should I go to 10? Is 10 okay? Yeah. Okay, let's do 10. Okay, Santana, what would be my conjugate? You switch the sign of the imaginary part. So what would it be?
-1.
No, bottom.
Oh.
But what about the first part?
-2.
No. Okay. It would be 2 plus 3i. This is the conjugate. So you leave the real unbothered. You do not mess with it. You switch the sign of the imaginary. That is called the conjugate. Okay. Now, you got foiling, right? You got to distribute. Keep going. All right. So here, I times 2 is 2i. I times 3i is 3i squared. Now, after I solve this, I'm going to re-solve it with like shortcuts, okay? Here I have to repetitively multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3i is 6i. -3 times 2 is -6i. -3i times +9 is -9i squared. Get your papers out. Keep going? Yeah. Okay. Now, let's mess with our I squares. Remember, I squared is -1. So I'm going to put a -1 here, and I'm going to plug a -1 in here, correct? Okay, so if I clean it up a bit, I end up with positive 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 plus 2y. So I also kind of switch the order because 2y is imaginary. That should always go in the back or secondary. Positive 3 times negative 1 because the I squared was substituted with the negative 1. So they're equivalent. That product is negative 3. That's a real number. So it goes first. So now the bottom. Okay. Look, you have positive 6i, negative 6i. If you combine those, but do you notice they happen to be opposites? Positive, negative. Wouldn't that just go to 0i? Yeah? Okay, so can I just leave it out? Okay, so I'm not going to put 0i here because 0i is just 0. You don't need to write 0. Okay, so I'm done with this. So I'm just going to kind of cross it out. So I'm left with 4. And then what's negative 9 times negative 1? That's positive 9. So you're left with 13. Because the two i's ended up being opposite. The 4 is the real number. Negative 9i squared, the I squared was replaced with a negative 1. So a negative times a negative is a positive, and so 4 plus 9, this is my new denominator. Okay, this is a beautiful answer, complex number that I would accept. However, as we move forward, and if you have access to a calculator, you should be able to take it down to a plus bi if you like. But you would get credit for this. So if you decided to split your real and your imaginary parts, all I did was take the denominator, put it with the real, put it with the imaginary as two separate parts. Now get a calculator. Remember, as you move up in your math classes, your numbers are no longer integers, positive and negative. They're going to become more decimal, fractions. Okay, as a decimal, that is negative 0.23. Is that okay? Who's got the giggles? And then 13. 0. I'm running out of space. And so this is a beautiful complex number. Okay, this is acceptable. This is absolutely acceptable. Okay, I'll be quiet. I'll come around, see if you guys need something or need to give me work. And then we'll talk Monday. You'll get your test back Monday. Oh yeah, first time ever, the all call of the progress report. Never have they done an all call for the progress report. What did your parents say? Like, oh, let me see your progress report. And you guys were like, I didn't get one. Okay, yeah, I was like, oh my, I'm going to so apologize to my second period. You guys, as a teacher, we haven't passed these out since February of 2020. Like, we submitted progress reports. The next day, I would always make sure to go to my mailbox and grab them, and then I would pass them out. I haven't done it since February of 20. So, bye. So, totally forgot my second period getting it today. I tallied my fifth period. I only had 3 students that got it fifth period. So, yeah, I think the majority is we all forgot, and then Mr. Kirk sent out that all call, and we're like, great. Like, you could have let us know or did an announcement. Oh, I didn't realize I was so recording.